When you look at this, are the Browns the biggest threat to the Bengals in the AFC North? And what are the do the Browns have a legitimate chance to win the North?
I think the Browns are probably the team that if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you want to get good the least. They have matched up well against them. The Bengals have not had that many matchup issues in the AFC because everybody's geared towards trying to beat Pat Mahomes. But the Browns are the one team that kind of matches up well against them. And I think the Bengals are fortunate that the Browns have not been a better team the last few years because that could have been trouble for them in the playoffs if they had to match up with a team like Cleveland early. I think the Browns are the biggest threat to them in the AFC. I think the Browns are a team that they don't want to get into that playoff picture because right now, look, the 5-1 record that that the Browns have over Joe Burrow, it's been pretty inconsequential because these games have not happened in the playoffs. But if this same dynamic stays alive and they're playing in the playoffs, all of a sudden the Browns become a massive roadblock for the Cincinnati Bengals.
So let's take it a step further then. How do you think they match up against the AFC's elite? So you're probably talking about the Chiefs. Maybe I'm not even putting the Jets up there because I got to see it with Aaron Rodgers and some of the new things there. How do they stack up against the AFC's elite?
Well, it's funny, right? When we talk about the AFC, we've been so wrapped up in the quarterback conversation. I don't think we've talked about these teams enough. And it's hard to come up with the other elite teams after the Chiefs and then maybe the Bengals, right? Like those are the two teams that you feel good about being in the same position. But outside of that, Buffalo, they look kind of up and down. We don't know if that defense is going to be good. They lost a lot of pieces there. Stephon Diggs seems to be unhappy. They don't have a running game in Buffalo. It's kind of all on Josh Allen. It's a very one-dimensional team. You can see how they can get beat. New York, they're trying to throw Aaron Rodgers in there. We don't know what that team's going to be, right? And you can say the same thing about Cleveland. You can say the same thing about Baltimore. All of these teams that do have promising quarterbacks have Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They let a team come back on them from 27 down. And it's not like the Jaguars are this bulletproof team. So, yes, there's a lot of good talent. Yes, there's a lot of interesting quarterbacks in the AFC. But when it comes to the Browns matching up with the elite teams in the AFC, there's a question of if you match up with the Bengals. I think they've proven that over the last few years. And if you match up with the Chiefs, roster-wise, of course, you match up with the Kansas City Chiefs. The real question is, hey, can Deshaun Watson play at a level that's in the same ballpark as Pat Mahomes? And if he does, then you can keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs. If he doesn't, then it don't matter how good the roster is.